October 16, 2016, Jack and Beata Kowalski took their 10-year-old daughter, Maya, to the Children's Hospital in Sarasota, Florida. Maya was complaining of severe stomach pains, and her parents were concerned that she was having a relapse of a debilitating condition she had been struggling with for more than a year, complex regional pain syndrome. According to MayoClinic.org, complex regional pain syndrome, or CRPS, is a form of chronic pain that can affect the arms and legs and can cause continuous burning or throbbing pain, swelling, skin lesions, or sensitivity to touch or cold. Maya's mother, Beata, was a registered nurse and had spent months in 2015 researching her daughter's symptoms and consulting with doctors before Maya was diagnosed with CRPS. Maya's medical journey was documented in the Netflix documentary, Take Care of Maya.
So let's go over your history just a little bit, okay? Approximately 3 months ago, you started having some pain down in your feet here.
Throughout the fall of 2015 and 2016, Maya was treated by doctors who used extremely high doses of ketamine to manage her symptoms. According to the DEA, ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects, but can give relief from chronic pain conditions. When Maya began complaining of stomach pains in October 2016, her father took her to Johns Hopkins All-Children's Hospital, where she had been treated 5 times before.
The first nurse in triage had no idea what CRPS was. And then the other ones as well. I got my wife on the phone and she talked to the doctor.
The payments are low-dose naltrexone and ketamine oral prescribed by her doctor.
The Netflix documentary details how the treating physicians in the emergency room were alarmed that Maya was being treated with ketamine and suspected she was being medically abused.
Her concern was merely administering ketamine over and over, more and more and more.
The hospital filed a report with Florida's Department of Children and Family Services, and Maya was sheltered at Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital for 3 months.
There are risks of respiratory failure, cardiac arrest. Her daughter could die from this, and it didn't seem that she was, worried about that.
Hospital staff accused Beata of having Munchausen by proxy syndrome and that she was intentionally making Maya sick. Maya's mother was never allowed to visit her while the case was being investigated, and Netflix's Take Care of Maya highlights how her calls to Maya were monitored by a social worker.
Hi, Beata?
Yes, this is Beata.
Okay, I have Maya on the phone.
Hey, Mommy. Hi, how is my sunshine today?
I miss you so much, Mommy.
I do too, sweetie pie. I do too. I miss you so much. We just have to be patient, okay?
Beata Kowalski died by suicide 87 days after Maya was admitted to the hospital and taken into state custody. She left a note blaming the doctors at Johns Hopkins All-Children's Hospital and Florida's Department of Children and Families. A year after Beata Kowalski's death, Maya's father filed a civil suit against Johns Hopkins, seeking up to $200 million. The lawsuit accuses the hospital of negligence, false reporting, and causing emotional distress when Beata and Jack Kowalski were accused of abusing Maya. Johns Hopkins has denied the allegations in their court filings and emphasized their responsibility as mandatory reporters to protect any child that they believe might be at risk of injury or death.
It's really confusing to me how a child who's being cared for by a physician and then ends up in an emergency room, and then there's all this confusion about what's going on and this blame being pointed at the parents. I mean, I don't know exactly how all this happened. Now, the trial has started. Opening statements today. Let's take a look.
The evidence will ultimately show that these doctors and these nurses and this hospital staff acted reasonably and prudently to treat a difficult and challenging case they were presented with, and they did it consistently over 3 months. They don't have to be right under the law. All they have to be is reasonable. We will suggest to you the evidence will show that first, they probably were right. But even if they weren't, they were more than reasonable.
Maya Kowalski was falsely imprisoned and battered. She was denied communication with her family. She was denied communication with the outside. She was told that her mother was crazy. She was told by social workers that one in particular, she would be her mother. She was put into a room and left for 42 hours with the commode just out of reach because the hospital wanted to prove that she could actually get up and walk. By January 13th, when Maya was finally left out of the hospital, unsurprisingly, this family was a wreck. Maya was not let out of the hospital even after her mother committed suicide on January 7th of 2017. The continued allegations that she was crazy and that she was trying to harm her own children, both Kyle and Maya, and the knowledge of the systematic abuse of her child in the hospital caused her, at the end, to lose completely and utterly her ability to control the maternal instinct, and that outweighed the survival instinct. In the process, they caused Beata Kowalski her life, denied Jack a loving wife, denied both Kyle and Maya a loving, caring, and amazing mother. They caused just terrific and permanent psychological injury, as one may expect.
And there inside the courtroom, that's Maya. Can you imagine what she is going through in all of this? But this family is bringing this action. They want what they believe is their sense of justice for what happened to Maya, what happened to her mom, what happened to this family. And yes, it's a $200 million lawsuit, but many times in civil cases, it's about more. It's about getting your opportunity to prove to yourself, prove to the world what you're saying is true. And I think that's part of the motivation of this family.